Yeah. Well, have you read the book, Be More Pirate?
I haven't, but I've heard people talk about it actually.
All right. So put it on your list.
Mhm.
That's your homework for this session.
Noted.
Read it while we're here.
Yeah. So Be More Pirate, and Pirate Living really talks about the Golden Age of Piracy.
Mhm.
And back in those days, how, that you had the Royal Navy that would gather people through press gangs and basically force them to be sailors on the ships. They would mistreat them, pay them shit, if anything. And then you had also privateers, which was, government sanctioned pirates who would rob merchant ships from other countries, and again paid and treated like shit because all the money would go back to the government. And then people decided, you know what, to hell with this, we're going to go do business on our own. They became entrepreneurs and became pirates. So there's that part, going out on your own and doing it for yourself rather than for someone else. And then all the beautiful things that came with that, with like not mistreating people in general, or more like fair equity pay, right? So how like the lowest of the rung might get one share, middle management would get 2 shares of the booty, and the captain would get 3 shares, versus like you get nothing, you get everything, and someone in the middle might get a little sprinkle of this and that. So that fair and equity pay, things like workers' compensation, they were the first ones to have that. So if you lost an arm pirating with us, we would pay you out. So obviously it became in our best interest to make sure you don't lose an arm during our pirate adventures, because I don't want to pay you part of my booty, so I'm going to have your back, right? And things like the pirate code, where it was very, even though each ship had their own pirate code, there was a lot of things that were very standard throughout the different pirate codes. Things like the workers' compensation, things like, to assault a woman on a pirate ship is like death. Things like if we capture you on one ship and you are a slave, then you are freed on this ship. You're a free man on this ship. Same-sex marriages, sure, go ahead, marry whoever you want. All of these things that like then came back to society that started on with the whole Golden Age of Piracy that we want to celebrate. So we call that creating good trouble, right? Standing up to the status quo, and how we can just relate that to life now. Whether it's, we have a couple of weeks ago, Francesca Elmer.
Oh yeah, Princess Elmer.
The climate change pirate, the climate pirate.
Oh, wonderful.
Who, quit her job to become a climate activist, right? So you've got from that, like, holy crap, that's a big thing that you're doing, and all the work now that she's doing for climate change, versus just, Kristen and I quitting our jobs to go out on a loan in the middle of the pandemic, at arguably the worst time, but also following our heart, knowing that we couldn't acknowledge we couldn't just keep going along with the what did you call it, the rat race that we were stuck in. So there's so many different levels. There's levels to this shit. Right, the levels of piracy, and we want to highlight all the people that are doing pirate things. And there goes the flag.
Guess we're gonna see the light behind me.
People that are doing pirate things, questioning the status quo, and living life on their own terms. That's my spiel. I'm glad we recorded that. We should just like cut paste. This is
here's the short version.
Yes.
It reminds me, I was nicknamed the Renegade when I was younger. What does that even mean? And now, as I've grown older and I have seen myself kind of take the lead in what you're saying, in terms of like, this is just not right. This needs to go this way. And sometimes that starts before any sort of like legal system can catch up. You just have to start.
Usually does.
I love the expression live in right relation to nature, to people. And it's crazy how sometimes that has to start with a little bit of rebellion, so to speak, just if the norm is not in right relation, which it does happen.
Definitely.
It's rock and roll, guys. There are no rules. This one goes to 11.